Hey guys, welcome back to a new video, and I know this isn't like the typical videos that I do normally make, but this is something that's like really near to me if I'm being 100% honest. So, about 3.5 years ago, I got diagnosed with a condition called FND, which means Functional Neurological Disorder, and it honestly altered my life entirely if I'm being 100% honest. It took I had to completely learn how to relive my life all over again. It took my ability to know what I can do and what I'm capable of, and it changed it entirely. So, the big thing about it was, for me, is I had not dealt with it my whole life. That's the thing, is I was something that was so foreign to me, something so different, and I never understood what was going on with my body. I honestly thought I was dying. I was having seizures daily, drop attacks, tremors. It got to the point where I couldn't function. I couldn't work. I couldn't hold down a job. I could barely go 2 or 3 hours without having a seizure. And I was wondering, what is going on with me? What is going on? I can't live. This is not sustainable. And it's probably one of the hardest conditions that to deal with, because there isn't a lot of help with it. There isn't a lot of resources, and it's just I found myself, someone that was so able-bodied, someone who was able to do so much and had the capacity to keep going and going and going and going. And then all of a sudden I just couldn't. And it was one of the hardest things ever. And so functional neurological disorders, basically when the brain isn't sending the right signals to the brain. So it's you're basically misfiring all the time, which it's weird. It's you have, so I have non-epileptic seizures. So it's not epileptic, but it's weird because it has everything of a seizure, which it can range from literally just me passed out, with my eyes fluttering, or I'm having full body convulsions, where I only can know is when I wake up and I can tell. It's either I feel like I was hit by a freaking full-on freight train, or I'm I'm just got a weird headache and stuff like that. And it's just that there has been one of the hardest things ever. It's just and it's weird. It's affected my speech, my memory, where, how I'm trying to even my processing speed, everything like that, to the point where I can't remember certain things. It's weird, because it's I'm having a normal day, everything's all good, and it's just it's a stress disorder, but also a neurological disorder, which is one of the weirdest things ever. Which is it's weird what stress can do to the body and how it can actually affect the body. And that's the big thing about it. Was I was so lost, because I'm what is going on? I'm I'm literally unable to function. I can't do anything. And it's just I almost had to mourn the life that I once had. And it's learning how to live my life differently. And that's the big thing about it. It's just it sucks, because how I describe it to someone is, imagine you're in a car, right? And you want to press on that gas pedal as hard as you can, and you keep doing, but your car keeps breaking down every 10 kilometers. And it's just doesn't matter how much motivation, how much drive you have in you, it just keeps breaking down, breaking down, breaking down. And it's just I'm walking on eggshells 24/7. Feels like I'm playing Russian roulette every single day, where I'm scared that I'm gonna go have a drop attack, or I'm gonna have a seizure, or I'm gonna have tremors. To the point where there's days that my hands literally curl in and I can't uncurl them. It's days where my legs lock up and I can't even I have to drag my leg, because it's not functioning with me. It's so annoying, because it's you constantly feel like you're a burden, and you feel like you're a problem, because you feel like you're not capable of taking care of yourself to the same extent that you used to be, which is very hard, which is one of the hardest things ever. Is for me, I didn't want to go and be hey, I'm disabled, because for the longest time I'm hey, I'm just, I did not want to accept it. I did not want to accept it. I did not want to be hey, this is my life and everything like that. And that's the big thing about it. And it's just But it's weird. It's like anything can trigger it, which is so weird. It's like if my blood sugars drop, if I overheat, anything, or just random, if I'm having a panic attack, anything, it can just all of a sudden, and I'm out, which is not fun. And it's just like I watched, lights, sounds, everything is overwhelming to the point that I keep off my lights in my place most of the day, if I'm being 100% honest with you, because everything is so overwhelming. And it's just like, I even wear like certain sunglasses just because my eyes are literally, and like even when I'm walking, it's like imagine the earth is going like this all the time. Like it's beyond, like I don't feel, where it's like I feel exhausted all the time too. It's just like, let's just say after my workout and stuff like that, or I go and do a grocery shop or something like that, I feel beat, like I feel drained, which is like not normal. Like I used to be able to work long shifts where I would not feel that exhausted after work. I would be able to, like, hey, but it's like now I'm like, I can barely function, which is one of the hard things about it. It's just like, and there's a lot of like, it's, especially being a man and stuff like that, you want to be the sole provider, you want to be self-sufficient, you want to be someone that can be able to do all these things. And that's the big thing about it. And like I've struggled really hard to accept that this is my life, and I'm doing everything I can, but there is not a lot of help, and it's beyond frustrating. I think the hardest thing for me is it's like your body is fighting against you. And it's just like, no matter what you want or what you want to do, it's just like, it always feels like you're trying to play, your body's saying no. And like, that's the big thing about it. And it's just like, it got to the point where I was ending up in the hospital nearly every day, just trying to figure out what was going on, because I'm like, this is not okay. I'm like, to the point where I was like collapsing in my shower, or I'm unable to even get up, and it's just, I found that it was something for me that like, it felt like I was losing my life. It felt like, I felt so alone in it. I felt like I couldn't do anything to further my life. I felt like I was at a standstill. And like, it didn't matter what I wanted or what I could do. No matter what I could do, it just felt like it was something was draining the life out of me every single day. It felt like I could not be the person I wanted to be. And it's, and then I was like, I try to make the best of the situation. I try and live my life to the fullest. And it's just like, there's days that I can't even stand. Like, there's been a few cases where, like, I try and stand up from bed and my legs are, like, shaking so bad that they collapse literally after, like, 10 seconds of trying to stand. And it's just like, I don't really talk about this because I don't want to be perceived weak, or people to view me differently, but, like, I can't even hide it, It's just like, I want to be the person I used to be. And it's one of the hardest things about it. It's just like trying to function. It's trying to, like, everything's overwhelming. Everything's, it's like I want to be able to, like, there was like back in the day, I used to be able to go and go and go and go, and there was no off switch. And it's just like, I'm 24 years old, I'm not like old or anything like that, but I feel like my body is literally holding me back from my goals and my dreams. And like, don't get me wrong, I fight for them every single day, and I put everything I have into achieving my goals and my dreams. But it's just like, I can't be the person I once was. And it's just like, that's the part that hurts the most. And I think that there is probably the most soul crushing thing. And I've learned to accept it, I've learned to accept it, but it's hard, like every day I go out, I'm like, will I be able to make it back home? Will I be able to, it's just like, I'm scared when I'm out and about. I'm scared to be alone. There's days that like I live alone and like that. And like, I have a really bad seizure. And like, I'm laying in bed, unable to get up, and all I want is just some water, just something to, feel somewhat better. And like, what is scaring me is I'm slowly losing my ability to walk. Every single day, like, it's getting worse and worse, and it's affecting my legs. And like, most people end up in a wheelchair, and it's crazy to think that your body can literally do something such just drastic to you. And that's the big thing about it. Like, I don't want this to be my for life, but like every year it gets worse and worse and worse, and I'm just like, and it's just like even right before a seizure, like all of a sudden I get really lightheaded, like everything's going in and out and in and out. And then like, it's like I feel like my blood sugars drops, like my body starts weighing like 1,000 pounds, like I can't breathe. It's just like I can't think. It's just like I'm like going through this, and it's just like it feels like, and then it's just like I'm just trying to, and then like my eyes start to flutter like that, and it's just like I can't control it. It's just like my body gives into it, and it's just like I think that's the hardest thing, is like trying to, live a life that is fulfilling. And that's why I put so much time and so much effort into social media, because I'm not capable of what I used to be able to. And like, it's really hard. Like, there's been times that I've had like full on seizures in the gym change rooms, or I've had them, even in the gym and stuff like that. Like, it's really, really hard. It's, and it's just like, I don't want to be a problem or an issue. And it's terrifying going through it alone. Like, it's beyond terrifying, if I'm being 100% honest. And it's just like, it's just like, I just want to feel normal. I want to feel like the man that I used to be. And like, it's just really hard. It's really, really hard. And like, I just want to, do whatever it takes to get better. But like, it doesn't seem like it's getting better. Every year it gets worse and worse. Like, originally it started off as like, hey, I'm having, one, like, what's it called? Like one seizure a month. And then it became once every 2 weeks. And then it became, once every other day. And then it became every day. And now it's like, for me, a good day, if I'm being 100% honest, is I'm going to have like one or two. And it's hard. And it's like the ones that like I'm having full body ones, like I'm exhausted afterwards. And people don't think that by looking at my physique and looking, what I do in the gym and stuff like that. But like, the gym is the only thing I have left that I'm still somewhat capable of doing, and it's really hard just trying to be the person that I once was. And I don't know, I'm trying my best. I am trying my best, and that's the big thing about it. And all we can do is just try and move forward. And it's be to certain extent. And like, that's the big thing about it. So you could have really bad seizures, or you could have really bad tremors, drop attacks. It depends on how it affects you. Like, one of the big things, of course, like most people will always get, is the chronic fatigue. And like, that's the big thing about it. I don't understand what I did to cause it. A lot of people believe it's linked with PTSD, which I do have and stuff like that. It's a lot of people think it's linked with your mental health. And, that's why I try my best to work on my mental health, to become the best version of myself, go to therapy, do whatever it takes to become the best version of myself, because I don't want to be this person forever. Like, and it's hard, because like, I'm getting really terrified, because every day is getting harder and harder for me to walk. If I'm being 100% honest, like, even when I'm walking, it's like the world's like moving like this all the time. My legs are locking up. I have to, like, especially my left leg, I have to drag it half the time, if I'm being 100% real with you guys. Like, and like, I don't want to be a problem or a burden, especially, to the people that love me and care about me and stuff like that. And it's just, it's hard, because like, I don't know if I'm making this video in a good tone or not, but like, this for me is just like trying to show you guys that like, not everything seems as it seems, you know what I mean? Like, I may present myself on social media as like, I'm lifting heavy weights, or I'm pushing, insane, things, and like, I'm putting on a lot of size. But it's not just that, if I'm being real with you. And like, I started showing symptoms when I was about 16 or 17 years old. And originally I thought I was hypoglycemic, actually, if I'm being 100% honest. And I got tested for it and like that, perfect levels and like that. And it was just like, I had no sense, but it would be like to the point where like, I literally would feel like I was gonna faint. I felt like I couldn't function everything went blurry, like I couldn't see, and like my body started weighing like 1,000 pounds, like, you know, it's almost like you're moving in slow motion. And like the only thing that would help in those moments was food. And I thought that was for, like, you know, originally when it was, and then later on it started turning into seizures, drop attacks, tremors, you know, to the point where like my brain can't process, everything's overwhelming, you know, and it's just like my balance is off, you know. It affects my speech, it affects my memory, my cognitive function, you know, how fast I process things, you know. And like I originally thought it was that, but it started off as just something like, you know when you haven't ate enough and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh shit, I feel like I'm gonna faint. That's what it started off as, and I'm like, you know, thinking it was hypoglycemia, but it wasn't. And then like I've got it tested multiple times, or even like, you know, like let's just say, you know, let's go like a week, like last weekend. So walking home from the gym, I was having a really bad episode, and I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it home. I can't even see, like I can't even barely see my own feet right now, and like my body starts. It's just like I'm like my vision's going in and out and in and out, and I'm just like I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to make it. And like, and that whole entire time, like, you know, it's frustrating because it's like my blood sugars feel like they're dropping like drastically, and like I've ended up in the hospital and they've tested my blood sugars and they're normal. It's so crazy what the brain can do to like literally be like, hey, we're gonna give you the symptoms of like your blood sugars dropping even though your blood sugars are normal, which is so frustrating. And it almost makes you feel like you're losing your mind. It makes you feel like, you know, that like you're not the person, like you're like, oh, I'm just fucking crazy, you know. And that's the big thing about it. And it's just like, I don't want to be this person, and I'm trying my best, but I thought I would share this with you guys, and hopefully this gives, you know, at least some insight in my life, and maybe you know, helps you guys understand, or if you guys are going through the same thing. I wish I could tell you guys that I have learned to figure this out, but like it's really hard to. Hopefully you guys don't, if any of you guys are watching this and stuff like that, I hope you guys have a good support system around you. I think that's the hardest thing is like, you know, I think going through this, for me, I don't really have a really good support system around me. And having to go through this by myself is probably one of the hardest things out there. Which, you know, makes me honestly sometimes lose hope that there is a light at the end of the tunnel some days. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this is not a typical workout, you know, video and stuff like that. But I do hope you guys did enjoy it, and like, you know, you guys will, you know, not judge me on this and stuff like that. But I thought I would be transparent with you guys and open up with you guys on something that is actually a huge piece of my life. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Hopefully you guys have an amazing rest of your day and stuff like that. And if you guys want me to talk on like some of these topics a bit more, I'm more than capable of talking about it. I just want to see if this is guys something you guys are interested in, like that. But I appreciate you guys. If you guys subscribe, it would mean the whole entire world. But yeah, don't feel free to reach out if you guys have, you know, are dealing with FND or some other neurological disorder and stuff like that. My door is always open. I try and be there as much as possible for others. So hopefully you guys have an amazing day.